just showcasing the angelfish after 1 week of free swimming. I do daily water change to 20% after their first feed and another 20% after their last feed. I feed them 3 times daily, around 8 a.m, 12 p.m, and another feed at around 6 p.m. And after the last feed I do 25 water change, so around 50% water change daily. It's been 1 week since they started to free swim, and I'm quite impressed with how fast they are growing. I've got the temperature up to about 28 degrees Celsius just to increase their activity and also to increase their feeding regime. They seem to eat pretty well. I'm feeding them microworms. I'm trying to get some baby brine shrimp prepared for them as well. I do occasionally feed them the odd decapitated brine shrimp eggs, but they don't seem to really take to them. They prefer eating the microworms, so I decided to get them some baby brine shrimp to replace the microworms, just to give them a bit more nutrients and nourishment for them to grow faster. But I'm pretty excited about how fast they seem to be growing at this state. Still with the parents, as you can see. I'm planning to separate the parents in the next week or so from the fry, but as I said, I'm pretty happy with the growth rate. I don't know if it's normal for them to be growing this fast, but every morning when I come out, it seems like they've grown a few millimeters more. And these are them just around 8 days after free swimming, just over a week. They are silver zebra angels. I originally had six of them in the group. I have 4 of them remaining from the group. And a long story, I had these 2 in the same tank for months, and they didn't show any sign of pairing or any breeding sign. And what happened is I placed them in the community tank with another pair of angels that they were with at a moment in time, and I just noticed they kept to themselves more, and they started showing breeding signs. They spawned twice before I moved them back to this tank. For those who breed angelfish or know about angelfish, the first spawn, the parents normally will eat the eggs, will consume the eggs after they're laid. The second one I moved myself, but it didn't went successfully, so I decided to just give them a tank on their own, so they can bring out their more natural instincts of protecting the fry and growing the fry. They seem to be a lot more successful than I am, and they're quite good at protecting their fry as well. Now this is the male, and the smaller one is the female. One thing to point out that both these angels were at the same size at one point. The female went on what I call the angelfish anorexia, and if you know, angelfish sometimes stop eating for a while. That's why I say I call it angel anorexia, because the female wouldn't eat for months. and I really think she wouldn't have survived it. And if she did, she probably would develop some problems with reproduction. But I just kept on trying to feed her, and she was taking spit out. But after a while, she just gradually started eating again. And I didn't know that she was a female or a male until they started spawning. So that was even a more surprise for me. So it's good to always try with your fish and try and get them to come back to good health, no matter what condition they're displaying. A little bit more about the tank. As I said, temperature is around 28 degrees Celsius, and it's filtered by that DIY sponge filter. That was sponge foam was in the filter that was currently in this tank when the angels were spawning, and I removed it because it was too powerful and didn't want the fry to be flung all over the tank. So I removed the sponge filter, the sponge media, and placed it in a siphon tube, and just stick it with some suction cups, and at the bottom I've drummed in some filter floss to prevent the fry from being sucked up in the filter. And in this middle section right there, not really the middle because it's still at the bottom, I've got some more coarse 10 pores per inch filter foam, just to capture some more biological filtration, and it seemed to be working really well. No problem with ammonia, no problem with nitrates. One of the reasons as well is because I have floating plants at the top. These are dwarf water lettuce, and if you get in contact with me sometimes, you will know that I really keep a lot of these plants. Excuse me. And they're really quite good at removing nitrate and ammonia. They will give the nitrate and ammonia no chance of acclimating up in your tank. They will remove them straight away. They're heavy feeders, and you can see by the roots, these are not really as long as they do get, because these are still some baby plants that I placed in this tank a few weeks ago. But as you can see, that root coming down is probably 7 inches long. So it's really good at capturing small particles, filtering the water, so it can come a bit crystal clear. The light's on for about 10 hours to 12 hours, so I've got a bit of algae accumulating on the glass as well. But I'm not really bothered about the algae on the glass at this moment, because I don't want to go in and start scrubbing the walls and creating a lot of problem for the angel fry. They're still quite small, and I want them to develop a bit more before I started messing around with scrubbing the tank walls. I do clean the tank every day out when I'm doing water changes, and because I keep the fry well fed, they do produce a lot of waste. I make sure that their stomachs are always full with food, especially brine shrimp, especially microworms, because microworms isn't that nutritious. I have to constantly have their bellies full with microworms, and they do produce a lot of waste, as I said. So I have to make sure that I clean the tank. I'm just